Hello, everyone. I would say hello, cats and kittens, but I forgot about Carol Baskin. Anyhow, I wanted to talk about what you do when your children disconnect from you, whether they are teenagers or they are adults, and they eventually call you by your first name as if you were never a parent. So, and I'll say it's a parent. Anyhow, what happened is I was a single parent from the when my daughters were 9 and 10 years old. Single parent. Their dads really weren't involved, and I did my best. And it's unfortunate that their biological father implanted in them that their mom, wasn't supposed to date. I wasn't supposed to do anything, but I did. I dated. I had sex. I had relationships. I met really nice people. There was a variety of people around my children, whether it was just friends or someone I was dating or whatever the case. And I explained to them, you have your friends, you have needs. Eventually you'll grow up and you'll have different needs. And everyone has the right to friendships and relationships and to feel loved and whatever the case is as a woman and as an individual outside of just being a mom. So I did, and I lived my life, um, and I was dating someone much younger when my daughters were older teenagers, and I was with my guy, and it was in the morning, and uh, we were in the midst of passionate exchanges, and my youngest daughter walked in my bedroom and saw things, and that was it. And and basically she had a fit, and I said, him and I are dating. He likes me, I like him, and it's monogamous, and I am gonna continue to see him. And she didn't like that, and eventually it fractured. So anyways, they moved out, my daughters moved out, and since then it's been about 9, 10 years. And since then, my oldest daughter lives wherever, and my youngest daughter moved on, got married, and has 3 children. And 2018, I was at the VA and learned how to crochet or knit or whatever. And so I knitted 2 blankets, and I had them ready for my grandkids. And when I found my daughter's address on the internet, I mailed out the blankets and didn't get them back initially. And I thought, well, it's a good start. Maybe, my grandkids will have something from me. And then I found all of these vintage little Tykes toys. So I said, well, I'll send them because they'll really enjoy them. And eventually I got everything came back. All the toys, all this, all that. And then I get a letter from my daughter. It's a certified letter. November 4th, 2018. Dear Laura, this is how they address me. While we understand you sending mail/packages to our home is you trying to reach out, we are politely asking you to stop. We do not want to receive anything from you anymore. Please respect our wishes and privacy. And then my daughter and her husband signed the letter. And so then I didn't send anything else. And then when my Nana passed away last year, it was September was her 100th birthday, and then she a week after that she got sick, and she was passing away, and she was in her home. And so I said to my sisters, call the girls and let them know so they can come and say goodbye and this and that. And they showed up, and I was completely ignored by my kid. My youngest showed up and ignored me, turned her face away from me. She didn't have the guts to even say anything to me, whether it was positive or negative. She didn't have the balls to stand behind what she's asking me to leave her alone, but she's showing up in an area where I'm at. And she announces to my grandma, who's dying, that not only did she have one child, the oldest, that she did take to see my grandma one time when this little girl was 2. She is announcing to my grandma she now has 2 more children, so she has 2 boys, telling them her name, and my grandma's totally she's dying. My daughter's telling, okay. And so she ignores me. But then at the funeral, my mom walked up to both of my daughters who showed up at the funeral and said, you need to say hi to your mom. And my daughter said, we don't have to do anything, we're adults, and blah, 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 and refused to say hi to me. And so no embrace, no sorry, no nothing. All right. So initially when they left, it was like, okay. And you grieve and you go through all your processes, and then you get up. You have to get up. And you have to get yourself together, and you have to put your big girl panties on, and you have to continue to move forward. But the thing is there's so many people out there who, if you are within reason, like I believe I'm within reason, although I make my videos and I have tattoos. I'm an artist, and I'm retired, and I'm a veteran, and I'm a sister and a cousin, and I am a friend, and I am a substitute nana for my cousin's boys, and we hang out, and my nephew has a little girl, and we hang out. So I had to get up. And I had to make a decision to say, if the relationship isn't going to be cohesive and be positive and be loving and kind, that's just the way it is. And there's nothing else I can do. So eventually I get all these presents back from my daughter, and I get the letter, and then they think that they can address me by my first name. But sorry to say, I'm a mom and I'm a grandma. And it is, according to the law and according to biology, that I still maintain these titles. And that's just the way it is. You can have a woman who's abused her children, or a woman who has done horrible things to her child, and the children will still say, my mom XYZ. You'll have a woman who has made the painstaking decision to give their child up for adoption, and that child will still say, my biological mother. So you can change the term and you can disconnect, but it doesn't mean you still don't have a parent. It still doesn't mean that person is not your parent and it's not earned that title. So all I know is that sometimes you raise your children and you have an idea of how it's going to go, or how things are going to be, or what kind of relationship you're going to have. I mean, after my kids disconnected, I had friends that say, I can't believe this happened to you. And then you'll have a million people questioning you. What did you do? Did you abuse your kids? You'll have people in your family that says, what did you do? Why did your children disconnect from you? And so it always reflects badly on the mother when their children choose to not talk to them, when in all actuality, in today's day and age, children aren't raised with the same amount of respect we had years ago when I was younger, where even if I disconnected from my mom, which I did for many years, when I was in front of my grandmother, there was a certain amount of respect you had for your grandmother that reflected in the way you reacted to your mom. Even if you didn't care for a family member, you still would not ever cross the line and disrespect your grandmother because that's just the way it was. So if your children choose to disconnect and choose to go their own way, choose to negate who you are as a parent, the best thing you can do is, number one, talk to a therapist, or a friend, or someone who's been there, who's gotten through this, and realize that you are no less a mother, a grandmother, or an individual simply because your children have chosen not to be in your life, and that they have the right to choose to disconnect, but you have the right to choose to get the F back up and move on with your life and make your absolute best life possible. Since I've been retired, it's been 2 years. I have traveled. I have established relationships with new people. I am, like I said, a substitute nana for 3 little boys who think I'm the shit. We went camping together. I was so sore after we went camping, but you can't allow anyone, not even your children, the opportunity to steal your joy. And if they choose to return letters, or if they choose to negate who you are, or not allow their children to meet you, or pretend you don't exist, I can guarantee you, and I know one thing for sure, because of the power of the internet, your grandchildren will find you. They will seek you out and they will find you because you are in pictures. You have left your footprint in your child's life. Because 50% of marriages end in divorce. If my daughter and her husband get divorced and he is angry at her, he will bring these children to meet me. Someone on his side, maybe a drunk uncle or a drunk aunt, may get mad at my daughter because of how she has withheld her children from my entire family, may get mad at my daughter and actually call me, open the door. They may comment under one of my videos and say, hey, I want you to meet your grandkids, and someone will sneak them to meet me. My grandkids will find me on the internet. I make these videos. They'll find me. And eventually, 10 years from now, when my grandchildren are, well, there's a newborn, a 2-year-old, and a 4-year-old. So the kids are 12 and, 10, 12, and 14. Someone else, they'll find out. I mean, someone, when they go to school and they're asking about biology or history or whatever, they'll find out, because that's just the way it is. Can't hide anything on the internet. There's so many ways to find people. And other people in my family who have interacted with my grandchildren, someone is going to say something one day. And my grandchildren are going to say to their mom, my daughter, who's your mom? And the thing is whether, I don't know what she's telling them or what she's told other people, that's on her. But to carry that secret, all those secrets come out when someone gets adopted, or, children grow up and then they're adults, and then someone in the family says, well, your mom slept with someone else and we don't know who your biological someone spills the beans eventually, because those secrets are so incredibly pressurized to hold on to that they spill out. They eventually spill out and become public knowledge. So anyways, that's all I wanted to say. If your children disconnect from you, I'm guaranteed, I know it's hard, and I know you might cry, and I know that they might use your grandchildren to get what they want from you, but never ever allow anyone the opportunity to steal your joy. It doesn't matter who it is. Never, ever, ever. I don't care if you've raised your child, you've paid for their college, you pay for their house, you pay for their cars. Never allow anyone to abuse you. I'm just letting you know you don't deserve it. Women like me who have done their best despite their circumstances of who they chose to be married to, or my situation where I had been assaulted and I made the best of my given situation and I put my needs and wants aside to raise my children. I didn't get help. I took care of things, and I got up every single day to take care of my kids. So anyways, I just wanted to let you know, never allow anyone the opportunity to abuse you. Your grandchildren will find you. And if your children come back, let them know that unless they can be kind and polite and respectful and add joy to your life, and the same in turn, that there's absolutely no reason for a relationship. So that's all I wanted to say. I hope that everyone is having a good day. And just know that even if someone doesn't like my video, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to make more videos. So anyhow, I hope you have a great day. We'll talk with you soon. Bye-bye.